It's like shuffleboard.
That was awesome. Are we ready?
We have a shuffleboard table. We had a shuffleboard table in Perry that I played at a lot growing up. So.
Like a wooden one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one they have at Replay.
My
That's
in-laws
where I
have
played.
one. So
Replay.
fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
It is a lot of fun.
I always drag my arm through the salt, and my father-in-law yells at me. But
You mean the sawdust?
now it's like salt. It's like a
Yeah.
wax salt.
Well, sometimes
stuff.
they use salt. Sometimes they use sawdust. Sometimes they use.
Where did you say you played?
Perry?
Yeah, well, maybe they use sawdust in Missouri.
Yeah, yeah.
Around here, they
Listen,
use salt.
I think they call that podunk shuffleboard.
That's how real Americans play
Yeah, that's true,
shuffleboard.
that's true,
That's
that's
what it
true.
is. They and it's cornstarch. That was the other stuff they'd use. Cornstarch. See.
Weird. That's what I used to make gravy.
I thought you used to use both hands to make gravy.
Yeah, I
so,
do that too.
Okay.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling,
Oh my
yes.
God. Okay. That's
We're
a hell of a
rolling.
way to start.
It is a good way to start. It's our little roundup. We don't
Yeah.
have any guests.
I know.
We can just hear and shoot the breeze for 45 minutes
I
or
love
so.
it.
So
Those are my favorites.
Did you happen to watch Frankie's podcast that dropped earlier today?
I have not had a chance.
Okay,
I've been
but
running around
the
like crazy.
new restaurant that's opening,
She
Maestros.
Maestros. What is the concept?
Italian food.
Okay.
Billy and Steve Goodwin, who have been at
Oh.
Tiramisu for
Ever.
20 some odd years, are leaving to start their own
Branching off, huh?
gig. Yep. It's going in Pop's Pizza, that building.
Huh.
So going to be open
Which
sometime in July.
was also, in the last 3 years, Pop's Pizza, Roxy's Pizza, and Lil Abner's.
Yeah, Lil Abner was the breakfast shop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been, businesses in and out, and that's kind of something that was commented a little bit on this story.
It was also the county Republican headquarters a couple of times a few years ago, too. They handed out signs and stuff out of there back in the day. So.
Huh. I'll take a restaurant over that. But
exactly,
so
right?
what was the comment about? Was it like it's a bad luck place or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that one is. There are some places in town that
I
just
feel like there are. Yeah.
But no, it was just asking, or it was kind of poking at the concept that when one restaurant opens, another one closes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's kind of true in Quincy. It happens. But I think the argument that people are making is not so much that we don't want new restaurants,
Yeah.
we don't want the city to subsidize the new restaurants
Yeah.
coming in.
I think the point is the level playing field, because I'm all for may the best man win, and good for Billy and what's her husband's name? Steve. Because I have no doubt they can make a successful business venture out of this, because they're amazing. But I do think it will put a hurt on tiramisu.
Absolutely.
And I think that is it subsidized? Are
No,
they getting subsidized?
I don't think so.
I haven't heard
I mean, I don't
anything
know
about that.
that
I don't,
entirely,
I don't believe
but,
so. But yeah, I mean, again, tiramisu is a downtown staple, and it's ever since they moved. I like it so much better in the new place than the old place.
Yeah.
And
I believe they're renting that because the renters commented or shared the story and said, we're so happy to have
Yeah.
them there
Right.
and we got to try it. And it
That's
was
going to
great.
be awesome.
But like you said, I mean, it is going to put a damper on. You're losing two of, your best servers.
people.
And who knows who follows suit.
Right.
Not to mention, it is competition. But yeah.
I
But
mean,
you've
there's
also-
like the tradition there when you walk in,
Yeah.
I mean, so that's going to be different.
Well, and they really gave a lot of credit to Roberto. They said the name is from Roberto because that's what they called him
Yeah.
as around the
Sure.
restaurants. So it's really cool. And I mean, I think tiramisu will be fine. I've been there several times since Roberto left, and the food's still great, and the service I've had no issues there at all.
It's
and
always
so I think
packed.
it's
Yeah.
always packed, and I think it'll continue to be always packed because, again, like I said, we lost the main course. So there maybe the main course customers. Okay, I was going here one night. Maybe I'm gonna go here one night. There's enough room, I think, downtown for all these places.
Yeah.
And we still
Are
got
they
the other-
taking cooks with them, though?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
But again, the argument is not so much that we don't care about or like we're scared of competition or
Right.
whatever. It's when, like you said, the level playing field.
Yeah.
I
It's-
really want to stress that because I feel like half that argument is lost.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's kind of a moot point if you're being subsidized in any way. It's not a level playing field, and you have an advantage over someone else. And then on top of that, the people who are at a disadvantage without the subsidies, there's a chance that they're going to lose people, and they're already struggling. So it's like, well, I get it if you want to open a restaurant, but do we really want to throw
tax dollars towards
money towards
Yeah.
it at the behest of other businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know if it makes sense.
I don't think it does.
I don't either.
But in this argument, too, it was formed, and we've heard the term over and over again, that it's the no caucus, that is shutting it down. And to that, I want to ask, I go, one, why is the no caucus even in existence? I mean,
it was created for a reason, if that's what we're going to call it.
yes. And I think it is just examples of history. I guess I'm part of that no caucus. And the no caucus, I think, is the we ask questions caucus. But the no caucus formed as a direct reaction to the asks.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
The asks represent a new movement here, where nothing will happen unless the government subsidizes for it. Now, I know incentives have always been a thing.
Right.
But, like, the asks have been a new kind of thing where everything.
Definitely more prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, when I was when I interviewed Brett and Hinkamper about this, of course it was mentioned that everything's expensive. Nobody can really afford it, which I do understand that. But does that mean that then the rest of us should have to afford it for them, even if we don't really buy into it? I mean, I guess it just doesn't really.
I don't think so.
It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
I think it should be done on a case by case basis, because I have no problem with them with the incentives they gave to get Target here, because many people, I'm not going to say women or whatever, but many people here have wanted Target for a gazillion years, and it came, and that's great. And it's, again, when we lost Shopko and Sears and Penny's and all this. Yeah, it's nice to have a place where you can, a place besides Walmart or driving all the way out to Prairie Crossing to get stuff. And
But at what cost? I mean, like, you
Booth
saw
was,
that. Yeah, he put those numbers forth. And those numbers are, so they accounted for a 3% increase with Target in the county, right? So
3% increase in what?
In the
Sales
sales.
tax.
Sales, okay.
So they kind of already budgeted that in.
Yeah.
Right.
What they didn't, or maybe they did, I don't know, what Booth was saying, what they didn't account for was the 5% in inflation. So right now, according to the numbers that he pulled directly from some, I don't know exactly where, like it's
the sales tax figures.
Yeah.
They're
Facts,
published
facts.
They're published every month, and the city puts them out every month.
Yeah. Was that nerd?
Yeah.
Well, hey.
I cover the meetings.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't look
We're
at
lucky
them myself,
somebody knows.
But you look at it.
Yeah.
Booth was looking at it, and he informed us on this, and this is interesting. Target, I believe, is at a 4% right now. So you needed 8. And we're at 4.
Yeah.
And the other numbers that he was saying were like, I don't know, it was something like a $3,000 increase in something.
But like I said, it's about having the options of not having great. Okay, yes, Ellen and I have gone to Target instead of Walmart a lot. That's probably the only place. I don't know of any other place we really go to. Again, I don't have a problem robbing Walmart at all. I don't feel sorry for Walmart at all.
Yeah.
So I think I would say that's the one that's impacted. The times I've been in Target, I sure don't see them buying a lot of groceries there. So I think Hy-Vee and Neiman's are still doing fine there. Of course, Neiman's, they're still kind of thinking about what they want to do at 48th Street. So there's still lots of options out there. And I don't have, again, when I'm talking about that kind of competition, and for something, again, that was something that was a long time community need. And also that is going to help. I mean, Adam owns the property just across 36th Street to the west next to Outdoor Power, where his brother owns. So he's got that lot there. He can convert. That's going to jack the property value of his lot.
Yeah.
Does Target have to pay on the food and beverage tax? 'Cause that's where their money came from,
It's grocery exempt, right? I don't think groceries.
So, but
here's my question. So if Target were opening and it affected Ma and Pa a mom and pop grocery store or a shop or something. But if it did, would we still be as okay with it? Because
Probably
that's
not.
kind of what we're talking about. If you want apples to apples,
Right, yeah.
if a Target came in and closed down some of these other places because of, competitive advantages, whether it's price, quantity, availability, people, service, whatever it is, if you don't have that competitive advantage, then you could potentially close.
think Target it's gonna take time for Target to retrain people who don't live in Quincy to come back here, because when Quincy lost Bergner, Shopko, Sears, Penny's, the mall's basically empty except
Bed
for the
Bath &
medical,
Beyond.
all those kinds of places. Over the years, it's like if you're living in, say, Pittsfield, it's like, okay, am I going to Quincy or am I going to Springfield? I'm going to go to Springfield. If I'm living in Bowling Green, am I just going to go to Chesterfield or am I going to go to Quincy? I'm probably going to go to Chesterfield.
Yeah.
To get people retrained, they got a Target. Okay, well, now they've got some other stuff. Maybe I'll go take a look. These stores moved from the mall out to Prairie Crossings. Maybe I'll go take a look at them out there, because they're with other stuff if I want to go to Kohl's or Old Navy or whatever. So, again, I think the impact of Target, while it has not gotten off to the start everyone would have hoped to be a something that lifts the tide, I think it's something that down the road is eventually going to be a net positive. And I think it's a case where, okay, somebody sees Targets here, then maybe somebody comes in here and puts something else here, but does so without getting the city tax benefit or something. But again, I don't. And again, I think at 54th Street, I still think it depends on what the stores were going to be.
Yeah.
And not just, here's 4 restaurants and a C-store, which we already have plenty of.
Yeah.
So
I always said a gas station and a Cracker Barrel would fare really well because it's a typical interstate type thing, right? Where you want something out there like that. I don't think you need to incentivize that, because didn't it used to be demographic space? Like if you can support this kind of establishment, then we would like to come there as a franchise, or we would allow you to buy into this franchise and put it there. But your demographics have to support it. So I think that's kind of one thing that we're missing, even with subsidizing and incentives. Do our demographics support it, or are we expecting this to bring in more? And how do we know? I mean, is it cart before the horse type thing? Are you going to put something in and then be like, we really can't support it, and then at the behest of other businesses that have worked really hard to stay open and thrive in our community for years and years and years? So yeah, it's definitely a good argument. Everybody loves options. I just don't know at what cost we need to have all the options.
And I think that's a very valid point.
Yeah.
Something you said about retraining is also retraining the mindset of not going straight to the convenience of your phone and Amazon, which I do myself.
Everyone's guilty
But
of
something
it.
I learned while in Target was that they price match. They'll price match Amazon. So
really?
Yeah. So I was in there to buy a coffee maker, and it rang up a little bit more than what it was stated under the price tag, and I was like, whoa, and I go, never mind, just put it back. Well, I pulled it up on Amazon and it's way cheaper, and she goes, oh, we price match, and I was like, oh, you just made my day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you just threw that out there, girl, because I don't know very many people who knew that.
Yeah, so the mindset of, retraining yourself to actually go out there, it is, I guess, supporting the...
Yeah. I think that might be the case with Walmart too, but I'm not 100% sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay.
They price match?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm just not good at... You know how when you go on trips to Mexico and whatnot, and people barter with the vendors who cruise up and down the...
Yeah, no.
No, I'm like, what, you want 50 for this basket? It looks like you just whittled your little hands away to make. Here's 80. Yeah. I mean,
that's the opposite of bartering.
Yeah, I
though.
don't, because I'm like, man, a lot of this stuff you can tell is handmade. Now, if it's not, but a lot of it you can tell is handmade. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to give you more. And then they're like, Miss Ashley. They see me coming.
Oh, Miss Ashley, we have more today for you.
Yeah.
How many margaritas have you had?
Yeah, right. They just wait till
7. Okay,
yeah,
let's
they
go.
wait till 2 p.m. Then they know I'm good and primed for shopping. Yeah. But no, I'm not good at I wouldn't probably even say, oh, just put it back. I'd be like, okay.
Really? If you had it right in your hand and you saw that it was literally $30 cheaper on Amazon, you wouldn't be like, oh, never mind, I'll just order it.
No,
wait.
because I'm the type of girl that's like, oh gosh, what's a good example? So many, but it's like, let me stand here for 5 minutes and hold this door while you're taking your time. I won't shut. I have this thing.
That's different.
I have this thing where it's like I have a need to be the best customer, the best I want to be the one that
You're
people
a
are like,
people pleaser.
oh,
hard.
I am. I'm codependent. And I'm like, I just have this thing where I'm like, nope, I'm not going to inconvenience anyone else just to make my life more convenient. I just can't do it.
I barter with the Lowe's people on their plants.
You do? You can do that?
Yes. And somebody said I was with somebody and they're like, you are embarrassing. And I'm like, this plant is half alive, half dead, so it should be half off.
Oh, that's good. Wow. I know who I'm taking plant shopping with me from now on. Mine always end up all dead, so really I should just leave them there for somebody like you to come through and keep them going. But no,
I will say that Lowe's does not have a bartering policy.
I was going to say,
that doesn't surprise
you're just
me.
blowing everything out of the water today. No, that's awesome. That's so cool.
I think we need to take our break. You probably need to refresh your drinks.
Oh,
We
yeah,
probably all need
yeah.
to refresh our drinks. We'll be right back.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
A&B Properties is Quincy's largest apartment rental company with hundreds of units available. They offer short-term and long-term rentals with 1 up to 4 bedroom apartments. A&B Properties meets the needs of its tenants with care, compassion, and a quality of service that exceeds expectations. A&B Properties also has a convenient tenant app for you to do your payments or make repair requests. Give them a call today. A&B Properties, 217-919-8080, Quincy.
So did you hear my idea from Coffee Talk? You know the sludgery or whatever it's called?
The what?
You know the dome?
Sludge dome, yeah.
Yeah. I think you should just clean it out, cut it off, make that the amphitheater. Done and done. Look at that. I just saved a shit ton of money.
I think they ought to cut the top off and make it a skating rink.
There you go. One or the other.
Ew.
Well, you clean out the sludge.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be part of that.
So this is what I said. I'm like, we took a minor tour of the water department when I was mayor for the day. Mm-hmm. And I told Ashley, I'm like, we need to do a road trips with Randy and be like, you need to see this.
Get our hard hats on and go check it all out. I want to go in the under sewer thingy too.
You would think twice about sludge dome skating and whatever.
Amphitheater, really?
I don't think
It can't be cleaned. I bet you could get what's Sammy Johnson's business? American Services. I bet you could get him in there and clean it up.
You just pump the sludge out, you
There you go.
fill it with ice, and there you go.
There you go.
sludge dome.
Sludgery.
The sludgery.
Sludgery,
The
dudgery
sludgery.
do. Hey, I think that cutting it, like I was saying, like the old grain bins that they cut and
Yeah.
turn into like bars and shit.
Yeah.
Listen,
Houses, yeah.
Anything's possible.
That'd be a great. When I build my Unabomber cabin in Missouri, I might just take an old silo and do that.
Yeah.
So.
But
I'm
seriously,
not the Unabomber,
yeah,
by
I was
the
going
way.
to say,
I'm just-
didn't he really have a cabin?
Yes.
Did you know he was like a genius and then they
Yeah,
put
went
him
to Harvard
through
at like 16, and they did all kinds of brain stuff to
Yeah.
him. Yeah, they drove him nuts.
Yeah, they
I mean, he
turned
was
him
nuts
into-
already, and then they drove him.
But
even
you know
more.
what? So I watched the documentary and he was talking
too.
about like social media and how how it's getting out of hand and it's
Yep.
turning people into. He was right way before his time. I think I'm not saying he was a good guy, but he definitely had a genius brain.
How many letters have you written Ted Kaczynski in prison?
Oh, one. No, I'm kidding. No. Who's that? Which one's that?
Ted Kaczynski's the
He's the
Unabomber.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many letters he's gotten, though.
Bet he gets a ton.
I bet he's has marriage proposals and all kinds. There's some
Sure.
crazy
For real?
people out
Oh
there.
yeah, have you ever watched Love After Lockup or whatever?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Have
that's one of-
you?
Oh, it's Ellen
his
watches
favorite
that
show.
kind of stuff. You know, all
Dude,
that murder. people and
Instagram,
all
I was
that and all
scrolling
that.
and up pops this like evidently they let inmates in Ohio like they're like, my name's Mike, I like to sing a lot and blah. Mike just came to my head, but it's like a guy. I was just sending a big sorry, Mike. But
Not
it
that
was-
Mike.
No, they're like sitting there, kind of like on the phone. It's basically like a dating app for prisoners, and they just post to this Instagram account. I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't. Why do they?
They're trying to get honeys, pen pals,
But why do they have these privileges?
the luxuries. I don't know.
Like this is
Maybe
prison.
it's minimum security. But either way, some of these guys, I'll have to send you the link because some of them like sing, and some of them. I wouldn't be surprised if you see somebody tap dance across the street. Like they throw out the wildest talents. Anyway, sorry,
I have to pay
I
for my
digress.
internet.
So do I.
Yeah.
You know what we forgot?
Do your
Oh
shots.
shit.
We're doing your shot. There you go.
Cheers, mama.
Pickles.
So while you finish your pickles, we were also in talking about the Sludge Dome and in talking about the possibility of where an amphitheater might go if they can figure this out. The success of Scott Edlund's concerts
Whoop, whoop.
this year really showed that Lincoln Park is a viable venue. I mean, are you going to bring in Taylor Swift? No, but you're going to bring in some.
Never say never.
You're going to bring Taylor Swift might tie up traffic on Bonansinga Drive.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, but I'm just talking about you can bring in pretty solid, acts and have a success down there and do really, really well and I think
bring people in from other places.
Exactly. Yeah.
And have a stage for local artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get those tourist dollars, not the population increase of people that we don't know where they're coming from or what they're doing here or where they're going to work.
So I think if they, when I was on the park board, we have a plan. There is a plan there that had an amphitheater there, but it had some seats and stuff. But I think if you just went with the stage and the cover for the stage and all the electrical hookups that were needed, so bands could just come in and plug and play. And again, like you said, local people could use it as well. If hey, we want to have a smaller concert there, the park band can use it.
Yeah.
I know they got the showmobile they take all over town, but still, I think that's a viable place to put it right there. And again, you work with the doc, kind of figure out what they want to be involved. If Scott wants to continue to do it, that's great. I know he and his team, they worked their butts off to make this thing happen.
They did a really phenomenal job.
And they did, and they deserve a break. So I don't know if you're going to have any more this year or not, but definitely, I know they're already thinking about next year. So.
Yeah, he asked on Facebook if Quincy was a rock or a country town, and I was like, well, it depends on what day and what drink I have in my hand.
That's what
I do think both bring in different people, different groups of people, but I do definitely think rock has a kind of a cult following, if you will. So when they hear it, I mean, people travel from everywhere, and that's what we want. People come in, restaurants, hotels.
I think it depends on the artist too, because for example, we got Sawyer Brown and Diamond Rio coming up to play at the Adams County Fair this year.
Yeah.
I think those shows are going to be huge.
Yeah.
So again, I think it all depends on the acts. I think if you brought in a nice polka band, that might be fun.
Listen, don't tempt me with a good time. I will be out there with my drink in hand. No, but I think so was there a reason, so getting back to the sludgery, which is what I'm going to call it from here on out.
Sludgery.
Is there a reason that is it getting torn down anyway, or is it being torn down with the idea of
they're
putting
gonna tear
that
it down anyway?
Okay.
I think.
That
Okay.
was done
Just to get rid of it, 'cause it
under
is an eyesore.
city dollars.
Yeah, that thing's been there forever.
I really
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like it. I
ugly
think we
and-
should just repaint it and turn it into how Vegas has that dome. Let's just make the
Well, it
sludgery
could be
sphere.
Yes,
the
That's it,
aerial
yeah.
giant boob.
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Except it's blue. The blue
Well, once
booby.
you painted
You
it.
painted
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
the
Yeah.
Blue booby.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's how
The
people
blue
know
booby.
Quincy.
Come
That's right.
see the blue booby.
Listen, we should be in charge of tourism.
I know. But hey, speaking of tourism, we do have a great sponsor. It's Sea Quincy, and they have this calendar out right now.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That you can find, I believe, on our muddyriver.tv site.
Yeah, it links right to it.
But this calendar is so cool. You click on it, you can add things yourself
Yeah.
if you have an event
It's really
going
cool.
on. Yeah.
It's something that when I go places, so if I'm visiting St. Charles or, we went to Bloomington, I look at calendars, especially if we take the girls, to see what's going on. And there aren't a lot of places that are really good about keeping up their, what's happening this
Yeah, the
weekend
Sea
type
Quincy
thing.
calendar's really
Yeah, it's
good.
awesome.
It's really good.
So kudos to Sea Quincy, and also thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the blue boob going to take away from the statue of me that's going to be erected in Clyde Adams Park?
We could put a blue booby hat on you too.
Yeah.
Be like, come see 2 blue boobies. Come see the pair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Quincy, home of the blue booby.
Yeah, I love it. Look what we just did there.
I really
didn't get
think
paid
though
for it.
when you look at the park, I'm just changing the subject completely because
This is why I love around.
yeah. With Lincoln Park, also the other factor with that is it's the future of whatever Quinsippy Island's going to be. The Quincy Bay project is to the north of that, and that's the $30 million project that the federal government's already committed funds for to rehabilitate and bring back the waterfowl and bring back the wildlife and just make that just kind of a really cool habitat area. And part of this process is going to be trying to keep the sediment flow down into that bay and the upper and lower bays, which would then also mean you wouldn't have to dredge out the bay where the marina is all the time. But I think that if they, again, when I've discussed this many times, the fact to just put the marina on the shoreline at Kessler, cut a deal with the boat club. If you're going to build up Clad Adams, put slips there, just move it all there, because it's really cool when all the boats are there and not tucked into that big mosquito farm that's currently Art Keller Marina. And then that way you don't have to spend $1 gazillion to fix the bridge, because the bridge to Quinsipi Island causes some people anxiety.
Some people.
It's the Stand By Me bridge.
It's a 5-foot drop to the water.
I have a fear of bridges, period. It doesn't matter how high it is.
Also, that one's chipping away pretty
like
good.
my leg could fall through some of those holes entirely.
Yeah.
So, but my concern also is, will it be the end? Or, like, if you continue to just drive over it, is that the end of the marina or a place for people to put their boats? How soon do you have to get this shoreline thing going?
I don't know. That's up to the park board, and I'm not on that anymore.
Well, your bridge is collapsing.
What happens to the log cabins?
Well,
that's
that's why you make it a walk. You make the bridge. You all you have to do is just fix the bridge enough so it's a walking bridge.
A walker bridge.
No cars.
Segways.
And then or segways or whatever, or your take your kayak.
I was going to
across.
say, did you see that?
Yeah.
You can rent a kayak now from, I think it's Quincy. Yeah.
It's on
That's
our website.
outstanding.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you could do that, and you can park by.
We're gonna do that, by the way.
You can park in the park district offices. By the park district offices, there's lots of parking on that side, and just walk over if you want to see the cabins or play on the playground equipment or whatever. No, I'm talking about the island.
I know, but that's where I don't know. You walk through there are trails through those woods
Yeah.
that lead directly to.
That's where I almost stepped on a
snake.
You can
I
also,
have too.
Yeah, and some kids have used those trails to go and get up on the railroad bridge.
Yeah.
and,
Train bridge, baby. Been there, done that. Tag my name.
You have. Yeah.
Tag my name, baby.
Yep.
Actually, I think it's just like a line because I got freaked out because I'm terrified of heights. So then I probably dropped the marker and got yelled at by all my friends. But, it is what it is. It's still a good time.
So I think that if the shoreline, then the marina, you move it there, then you fix Clad Adams Park up a little bit, you make it so it's accessible. Again, I know the master plan for the riverfront's like $25 million, whatever it is. But anyway, it can be done at a far cheaper rate, and it can be done to where it's more serviceable, more accessible. But then that's going to say, okay, then if this does happen, and if the Riverfront Committee can get things off the ground and work with the Park District, because let's be honest, that relationship hasn't exactly been symbiotic, then what can you do and work with the city then to say, okay, what can we do to talk to the folks who own the properties down there to make some things happen? And again, it's private funds, and are they going to want to spend their own money, or if they're going to say, hey, this guy's getting money out of 54th and Broadway, you want me to put my money in the riverfront, you're going to give me money for the riverfront.
Precedent.
So that precedent's already.
You know how rich we are here in Illinois and Quincy. You get money and you get money.
Well,
I just want eggs, guys. I just want somebody to buy my eggs, okay? So they're so expensive.
Chicken eggs. Okay, I thought you were talking about other eggs or something. I just thought we were going down some other road there or something.
Sorry. I digress again.
Okay. But as part of when you talk about tax incentives, something else that has also recently passed, the governor signed the legislation yesterday, was the River's Edge tax credit. And this is for communities and businesses who can get 25% state tax credits to do projects like this.
Like what?
To do riverfront enhancement projects.
Oh, really?
Can it go towards the bridge?
No, it's for private. It's for businesses and private entities to. Now that you mention it, maybe I don't know if the Park District can take advantage of that or not. So, but anyway, Quincy was just added into that. Quincy and 6 other communities were added, and that was actually something that Greta and Randy Fries and Jill Tracy had been working on to get Quincy added to this list.
You have to be just like a business on the riverfront?
There's a certain parameter. I think actually, and it deals with like historic preservation as well. And I don't have the legislation in memory. I don't think you have to be on the riverfront. I think it's the fact that we are a river community, And I think you can be a certain ways away from the river and still take advantage of it.
Do you have to be a new business, or can already existing
Businesses, I believe, yes. Anybody, I think they can tap into it too.
Well,
Interesting.
That makes it a little bit more.
Had
of a
you read
local-
Muddy River News, you would have seen the story on this. That
Was this today or
posted
yesterday? Oh, on my day off?
On your day off, yes.
Well, you don't read the news?
On my day off.
I knew all of this, Brittany. Keep up. I'm kidding. I didn't know shit about it. I'm just saying. No, I think it's really cool, though. I mean,
But you worked today, and you could have said,
again-
"Oh, perhaps I need to get caught up on what's happening before I go on the roundup and talk."
Well, I did with my other points.
Yeah.
I did my homework, Bob.
Guess what I did? Showed up. Showed up. No, okay. So, all right. If somebody, let's say, what's happening with Native Wings building? Is that like that would be something?
Vemberlo still owns it, and
Yeah?
he could. That's possibly something he could take advantage of if he
All
wanted
right.
to. So, and then you got the Short Ridge property next door. You got Chicks. You got Bootaloo. You got all kind. And again, the water once Quincy ends up moving, I think the whole water plant isn't that the plan is eventually the whole water plant's going to move, right? Probably down by Celotex maybe or something.
Yeah. Is that still a thing? I know the building's still there.
Building's still there, but I believe the city's doing something with
Are they?
that. So if they move that there, then that's going to free up all that land
Gotcha.
to do something with.
I think the Native building should be turned into like smaller apartments.
There's one apartment in there.
I know, but it's huge and amazing and beautiful, and nobody can afford it. But I think if you did smaller ones, right, that would kind of help the housing crisis. And it's down by the river and could potentially get money, especially if you tear down the Blue Booby.
I'd like to see a bar down by the river, not subsidized by the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we don't have very many like right there, maybe Chicks, I think.
Chicks is
if
there.
you consider that a bar, but it's more of
Yeah.
a restaurant. But like I just remember backwaters, and it was
Dude.
so much.
You're never going to top
fun.
backwaters. I think that's kind of where like the nostalgia sits in. So everybody wants it to be the same. You just don't have the people to support it anymore. Nobody drinks like we do. Okay.
Which-
That's just, it is what it is.
Going back in the day, the Puzzles Pub was down there,
Yeah.
and that was my time. You can go to the boat clubs and have a beer if you want,
Dock.
I believe. The Dock. there's...
You can become a member of the Elks.
Hey, don't give away our initiation secrets now.
Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't mean to do that. So.
No, you're good. So, there's so much potential. I would love to see it built up, improved. I would love to see it because I think it is right now. It used to be for industrial sake, right? Mm-hmm. And now that ship has kind of sailed. I mean, there's still some there, but I think now we could use it to beautify Quincy. I just know it's so much money and it's hard to get that vortex of good things going, especially when it costs so much money. But how do you do it? And I think there's a lot of private money in Quincy that you could probably get, some people on board and be like, hey, we just want to start this project. One would be, and I haven't been down there in a while, but the last time we were down there, I remember the ramp was overgrown.
The bush. Yes.
In the bush. But yeah, those would be like smaller projects. Be like, look, we're really trying to do this. Let's get some volunteers down there, trim it up,
No,
be done.
the city and county both are
Park district,
accountable. Or no,
Park
Yes,
district?
sorry,
City
city
Park
and
District. Yeah,
we're
they should
both-
maintain it.
They do it.
They're accountable for it,
Oh, they
and
should
we
be
pay
doing
our
it.
taxes, so
Oh,
we don't
okay.
need to. Just like, not to digress, these downtown
The
cleanups.
Yeah.
We pay taxes towards something, and then we ask volunteers to come in and clean up. It's like, it's icky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, kudos to the volunteers for trying to do good things.
Absolutely.
But,
you
but
know.
know what should be happening so that you're not spending your Saturday morning down there doing something that should already be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accountability.
I didn't know that about the bush. Good to know.
I also,
Go ahead.
I think the whole, again, the biggest domino in the riverfront is going to be when the bridge gets moved. And again, we're talking 10 years or whatever. So once the bridge is moved and then they take down Memorial Bridge, then that opens up that area.
It just
They
seems
take
like
down.
an unsurmountable task.
The
Like,
plan,
how do you
though,
even
was to leave
freaking
part of
do that?
Memorial Bridge.
Yeah, they're talking about leaving a boardwalk there, that like just kind of an overhang. They're talking about that's something that they would like to do, but they have to get IDOT's permission to do that. So
I also think the biggest thing is the fact of the matter is any space other than the Quincy water thing is all privately owned. You have to get the people that own this riverfront property,
Yeah.
and some of the people have sunk in, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And in order for them to recoup, you've got to buy it from them or pay that towards them. I don't know.
Well, and some are grandfathered in, so they, it's like you can't.
That's what I said. I mean, I said that earlier. It's like, okay, if you're going to give so-and-so out there to do this, you want me to do something here, what are you going to do to incentivize me to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
The never-ending story, right? Like, it's just a constant. It really is. It's like tit for tat, and you don't have...
What was that dragon's name? Do you remember?
Falcor?
Yes. Nice pull.
Cannot believe I...
Or
Falcor, something like that.
You don't...
Either way, Luke will
I
be
haven't
so
seen
freaking
that
proud of me.
forever.
It's like a
I've seen
trip.
it, yes.
I think they're going to redo it, and I feel like you're going to need to be on acid.
Yeah, well, you always wanted to know what that was like. Just watch
Just
that.
watch
sober.
that.
Okay,
or
watch
what's
that
that
sober.
other one with David Bowie?
The Labyrinth.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I've seen
another.
that.
And
Yeah,
his
it's pretty trippy.
bulge.
Yeah,
I mean,
Socks.
come on. He's wearing
Socks.
a leotard
Leather.
Yes,
tighter
he
than
is.
mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tighter
Yes.
than mine.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure it is socks because
it's got to be. It's definitely a couple.
Come on. He was David Bowie for the
And
love
that
of
was
God.
that was intended to be like a kid's
Yeah,
movie.
it was. Yeah.
That's why we turned out like this.
Yeah, freaks. Can you
Dukes of Hazzard
imagine?
was supposed to be a kid's show, and you had Daisy Duke prancing all over the place.
That's-
Yeah.
Can you imagine watching The Labyrinth and then like being a groupie for David Bowie and like getting a chance to get in his pants and be like, what? What? Where's the bulge, my dude? Can you imagine? It's like a padded bra only for a dude.
If David Bowie's watching, management is not responsible for the content of this program.
Yes, they are 100%. They back
No,
me.
we're not.
Wait, are we even on David's team? I thought he was.
David Bowie?
Yeah.
He's.
I don't know anything
Both
about
of
him.
I don't know.
I think he's both. Yeah.
Oh, he's bi?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Most of those British guys are. Come on.
Oh.
I bet I
British
could swoon. I could
performers.
swoon him.
You could turn. I could turn him.
I could turn him. No, honestly, I would. I say this, that I'd probably meet him and be like, "I'm sorry, who are you again?" I would have
That
no
would be-
idea.
Well, also, yeah, you don't look like what you did in the last.
No, I would have no idea. I mean, honestly, if you show me any famous person, I'm probably like, who are you? I'm so lost in the clouds.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Half the time he mentions names, or sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like I used to be so like savvy on those things.
In the know?
Yeah, and I don't know where it slipped.
I know where it slipped.
When I started here and had to start working
and
all
you had to read all the articles
time,
all
and
the
I
time.
wasn't able to get on.
I was thinking it was the baking of your brain cells. is what I was thinking.
That's been just cooking smartness for I don't know.
Cooking smartness.
Yeah.
That should
I
be
think
the
it
title of
protects-
this
I think it
freaking
protects
podcast.
That
myself.
is the
Cooking
title.
Smartness.
Cooking
There we go.
Smartness.
Okay. Wow.
I like that.
I think it's a great note to end on.
Is it? I just want this to continue on. I feel like we're doing really good stuff here. We are solving the world's problems and
One
having
drink
a
at a
great
time.
time.
One
Yes.
drink at a time.
One sip at a time.
Yeah.
Next week, okay, you guys do not want to record early, so we are taking next week off, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So we will not be here next week. It's the 4th of July.
But we
As
will
mu-
hopefully have an especially special 4th of July special for you.
Yes, we're working on that. The Randy's putting together something for us, and again, the 4th of July. Of course, aside from our nation's holiday, as much as I love these two ladies, it is my wedding anniversary, so I have to spend it. I will spend it with her and all of my our children, who will all be here. So they're all coming down the 3rd. So.
And what year is this?
32.
32, yeah. I
Our
know.
OJ anniversary.
What's that mean?
He wore number 32.
Oh, see?
Like, why would you even reference
I-
him to your marriage?
I totally do
Ellen-
that. I said
Yeah.
that to her. I said, "Oh, it's our OJ anniversary." She's like, "Are you gonna kill me?"
She is
I was like,
a
"Well, we're not
saint.
divorced."
Yeah.
Yet.
I think that's what she
that,
said.
I would-
That's what she said.
I would, so she's a saint, but I would venture
She
to guess
is-
she would kill you before you'd kill her.
said something last night or something. We were over down the street having one of our woe meetings, and I had a Woodside Homeowners Association.
Yes.
And Darren, the neighbor, handed me another beer, and she gave me that look, and I'm like, "You can go home. It's 2 blocks away. We're not handcuffed." And she goes, "You're right. We're not handcuffed." Like, ooh.
Bazing.
Don't you
do.
love summers with teachers?
She's got two. She's got one day. Well, now that today's got Friday's
And
her
it's
last day of
her
summer school.
Officially summer.
Official
summer.
last day. Okay, yeah, but let's be 7:30 to 11:30. She's
Yeah,
still
but at
at
least she doesn't
Sheridan
have
by
to get up.
1.
She won't have to get
I'm
up.
not-
She can
The
actually
whole
like.
reason I don't want to say the whole reason, but that is like the biggest perk of being a teacher. That's why
that.
you do
Yeah.
that.
But
Like,
if we want to go on vacations or pay for
She got to make that
bonding
money.
AC units, then we got to have a little extra candy.
Yeah.
So
Mama, make that candy, Bob's saying.
that's right. So
Well,
I ain't
yeah.
getting no overtime here.
Well, and then
So-
she deserves a break from the kids. And I'm not saying they're not amazing kids, but I couldn't
her
do
students, you mean?
it. Yeah, the kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
I say
not
that,
your
they are
kids.
We
No,
get a break
they're-
from them all the
no,
time.
no,
They're gone,
no.
except for Scott. But yeah, so no, we're she gets the next 6 weeks basically off to she can make Sheridan
Yay.
before noon if she likes. So,
That's
yeah,
excellent.
she'll be sleeping until 11, I'm sure.
Woohoo! As she
Go
deserves.
for
So
you.
very well deserved, especially for putting up with this one. Well, happy 32nd anniversary.
Yes, cheers.
Go,
yeah,
Jay, go.
cheers.
and
happy,
then cheers to
happy
America.
4th. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. See, got it. Yeah, we were nailing things.